Now, when we got word of the new Sims 4 season, it was referred to as the Motherload season, and I instantly made the connection. Obviously, who loves money the most, minus maybe Dina Caliente? It is, of course, the land grabs. We have had two townie refreshes of iconic families, one of those being the Goths and the other being the Caliente household, and I always thought that they may be hinting towards a land grab refresh. We did get a little bit of like a lore drop once upon a time in, I think it was a Sims Summit, about Johnny Zest and Nancy and kind of their relationship, which a lot of people were like, okay, this could potentially be happening in this season. Now, I can't remember when Motherload season ends. I don't know if it lasts like all the way till the end of May, so we may potentially still get a land grab refresh, which I actually wouldn't mind never getting. I think the Nancy of The Sims 4 is so iconic, and I would genuinely be sad if they changed her, and it just wouldn't feel like my Nancy land grab anymore. Even though I have my own townie makeover version of her, there's just something so iconic about the base game Nancy land grab. But I think if they're gonna do it, they also have to tie Johnny Zest actually into the family, which means changing their familial relationships, because right now he has no relation to them whatsoever, which we just all know is not true. So I decided, of course, to take matters into my own hands and do my own townie refresh. I, for the last few years, have been working on a personal save file, basically a save file that I know I can hop into and start all my recent saves in. And in that save file, I have been making over the townies just to kind of match my style more so. Now, I know some people don't refer to these as townie makeovers because they're like, a makeover is not when you reframe their facial features or anything like that, but I like to make them look like I've made them. And to do that, I obviously do have to switch up like where their features sit, how their face looks, because I want them to fit in more with my world, other than just maybe giving them a new hairstyle and a new eye color and a skin default replacement. And I just think it's more fun because as I'm working on these townies, I can kind of like look at their stories and then also think of new headcanons, which I have done, I'm fairly sure, a video on my townie makeover headcanons, which I will link at the end of this video if you want to go check that out. Getting onto this townie makeover, we're making over the Koopmans, who I actually didn't realize these two were elders in the game. I thought that they were both just adults. Like, I just thought they had maybe made slightly older looking adults. They are both elders, which worked out well for me because in the Motherload season, we are actually getting three new kits, I think, potentially. And I think people have said that they are coming this week, and one of them is actually the Golden Years kit. Now, we don't know really what this is going to be. My bets are absolutely on this as a creator sim kit, kind of focused on elderly sims and more of like their fashion. I don't know, maybe those of you who don't like getting crop tops every pack, even though I firmly believe that elders can wear crop tops in The Sims 4, which I will prove in this video because Yolanda is fecking rocking one. I felt it was only appropriate to give a makeover to this elderly couple who live in Nordhaven. I obviously wanted to get them prep for Golden Years. Honestly, these may be my little model sims for when I go over that kit. I personally think it is just going to be a creator sim. Some people have said because it mentions tailor and also has like a little sewing thread next to it, that maybe it could potentially also be a gameplay kit. I truly don't think they will ever go back to gameplay kits. I think we are stuck with build and buy mode kits and then also creator sim, which like I'm fine with. I don't really feel like Bust the Dust was incredible. It was incredibly broken, I guess you could say, upon release. It has been slightly fixed over the years, but I just don't think gameplay kits really fill a void for me. I love the return of stuff packs. I would like to see game packs come back, but that is a rant for another day. So I just wanted to get these two ready in case like any of the Create Sim did come out that I felt was appropriate. I think I've made over mostly all of the Elder Sims actually within my save file, which is a wild thing to say. I was going through looking at my list of townie makeovers and we've made some proper headway on them, which is not surprising because I do these an awful lot over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/EnglishSimmer. I love just like spending time in Create Sim. I love putting outfits on Sims. So for Gert, I know I haven't really spoken about him. Apologies, Gert, but he is a little bit of a Lothario. He likes to go out to the market stalls, and there are some rumors, some Nordhaven noise going around that, you know what, he's a little bit of a flirt. So I kind of wanted to bring that energy to him a little bit. He's got those like icy blue eyes, a beard. Honestly, since downloading a bunch of new custom content facial hairs in The Sims 4, I will link 2 of my favorite creators down below if you're looking for more facial hairs. My beard game has been so strong. Like, I think I now understand it when people get upset when their significant other or like their dad shaves their beard off, because you're right for that. You know what? I love Gert with a beard, and I kind of just wanted to scruff him up a little bit. And I don't think, honestly, anything has really happened. I just think he's a very charismatic person. Maybe I am just making excuses for him, but I did want to bring that in, and I kind of wanted to change his style up a little bit. He already had great style. I mean, I quite enjoy the Create Sim of businesses and hobbies. When I tend to do these townie makeovers, I used to use an awful lot more custom content that I do nowadays, and that is honestly because I feel like the Create Sim content generally gets like better and better texture wise. I mean, even whilst I was watching this back, I was like, whoa, I was so heavily inspired by Jeb from Life is Strange True Colors, which is not surprising. Truly a very good looking man who also has, you know, a little bit of mystery and a little bit of that riz. He's learned things in life, and he is taking that stuff that he has learned and applying it to all situations. If you've ever wanted my version of basically Jeb from Life is Strange, you can go check out Gert, which, speaking of, I will actually put all of my townies up on my gallery page once they are fully complete, because right now I actually created a full-on spreadsheet of their outfits, what I have done for them, what isn't yet completed. Like, some of my townies will just walk around my save file like bare below the hips because I haven't found an outfit that fits them perfectly. That luckily didn't happen for these two. I very much knew what I wanted to do. I kind of made Gert, I guess, a little more suave. I don't really like it when they put Sims in just like their outfit that they wear for their career, or, you know, just that's their everyday outfit and that's all you see them in. I know it makes sense for when they're working, but in my townie makeovers especially, I always try and give them at least 2 variations of everyday clothes and then 2 different variations of cold weather and hot weather fits, just so they can rotate through them and they do switch it up a little bit whilst I'm playing, just so things don't start to feel stale. I know I get asked about uploading these to the gallery and also just like uploading my save file, but the reality is a lot of these use custom content. I use custom content freely within my game. I use makeup, eyelashes, skin default replacements. I use a skin overlay, and I also use like custom content hairs, clothing. So this is very heavy custom content. If you have watched me for years and you kind of know that you have the same custom content as me, then I guess they're not going to look too different if you do download them into your game. But I personally don't think I will ever upload this as like a save file on like Sim File Share, just because I I don't want to have to be like, there's so much custom content in this, and these Sims could look nothing like the Sims that I've made if I actually take off their custom content. There are incredible save files out there that don't use custom content and are freely accessible to everyone, so I don't really want to like constantly have to give those disclaimers, but they will be up on my gallery as I finish them more and as I feel happy with them. So if you do want to download them, it's just EnglishSimmer. And also, if you do want to see a video, it would be long, so it would be those of you who are truly invested in my townie makeovers. But if you want to see a video of like every single townie makeover that I have done so far, I am happy to make that. I just need to know that the interest is there, because I know not everyone can watch streams all of the time. Speaking of, I also want to do a video where I react to my townie makeovers without custom content. Which even the idea of that is stressing me out. I know people can make very, very cute Sims without custom content, but that is not me, baby. I can do it if I put my mind to it, but because I play with custom content, I wanted this one to like have custom content, and it makes the Sims look very, very different. So when you take it off, you're like, who the heck is that stranger? But I do think it would be entertaining to kind of see my reaction. But the other reason I wanted to do an elder couple, not only because of the Golden Years kit that is coming out, but because I actually kind of struggle with elder Sims, and I guess I wanted to do a mini rant about this in this townie makeover. You will have seen me playing with like Yolanda's facial structure an awful lot, mostly her like chin and jaw, and I feel genuinely that like the feminine elder Sims struggle with this the most, although it does definitely still exist on masculine Sims. There's something about the way that an elder Sim's jaw and chin looks, and I get it. Like, if you want to add jowls to a Sim, then you should be able to do that, and they can definitely have some, you know, like extra skin hanging around. However, I feel like that's what they've kind of tried to do, but they've made it super low poly, and I really struggle with like molding their face shape because it's so angled. Like, sometimes I want a more rounded jawline, and I feel like elder Sims should still be able to have that. They shouldn't have like these hard edges to their jawline that are like incredibly hard to shape. And it's honestly really, really sad when it comes to townie makeovers, because I know we all talk about like the same face syndrome, and you know, we all have our own Sim style. We all create Sims in similar ways, just mainly because it's habitual. Like, we move the mouse in certain ways, we like the way that certain Sims look, and I always compare it to having an art style, and I love that. I love that everyone is individual in their own style of making Sims. However, it definitely adds to that, because it's like, okay, well, I'm trying to play around with their jawline and their chin, and my elders end up looking the same because they all have this like really angled chin and jaw that I personally can't get rid of. And I don't know how people do it. Like, I've seen townie makeovers where they have an elder Sim and their like chin and jaw looks exactly the same as it did in their younger years. And I don't know if there's a mod that removes that, if there's a mod that maybe smooths it out. I don't know whether it's just like people's default skins that are maybe doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but I would absolutely love to hear if you have anything that kind of removes that or softens the angles a little bit. When it comes to hair colors as well, we currently only have two graying hairstyles, and those are the original like default black that we had and the original default like chestnutty brown, like more of the like light brown color, I guess, that we had. I don't know if that is the chestnut. Whereas now we've actually got an additional two brown hair color swatches and then an additional black hair swatch, and obviously we also have the reds and the blondes, and we don't have graying versions of every single hair, which I personally would love to see. I would love to have every, maybe even just natural hair swatch, not like the deep blues and the pinks, although I would love just more unnatural hair swatches in general, and I again, that's a rant for another day that I could go on, but I definitely think all the kind of natural hair colors that we have should have a graying swatch, because I really wanted to use the new brown on Gert, but I couldn't because there wasn't like a graying version of it and it just looked a little bit too disjointed. So I actually just kept his hair the new light brown. I just wanted to record this video because I know people are always interested how I do my townie makeovers, how I actually work in Create a Sim, and I think honestly, the more you work in Create a Sim, the more natural it will become. Like, you will just go into autopilot, you'll know your sim style. Like, even though obviously the sims look different because it's based on real life, and I still want people to have like significant features and differences between their faces, because not everyone looks the same, and I don't want that to look the same. They do all obviously have the same type of skin, I guess, because of my skin default. I think faces are so interesting, which is why I think I love spending time and doing makeovers so often, because I enjoy like getting to test myself and kind of see how I can approach something and kind of make a sim still have the features that they had, or make them look like maybe their older Sims model, which I have done for a couple of the business and hobbies townies, because a couple of those were in herbs and I wanted to kind of represent their older looks. Crispin, I haven't made over Grandma Hattie yet, and also Cannonball are those sims. So if you're looking for some inspiration, definitely go check them out. My sims as well. Obviously you have the BFF household. I'm going off topic so much, so I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I hope you enjoyed my little like workings on these townies. I also maybe hope that one day they can look at elder sims and kind of sort out, I guess, like a couple of the issues that I've spoken about. I appreciate you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about like how I make sims, sometimes it's hard for me to put it into words without you lot actually specifically asking questions, but if there's anything that you want to know specifically, let me know in the comments down below and I will try my best to answer them, and I will speak to you all in my next one. And also when we check out that Golden Years kit. I'm obviously going to be checking out all the kits, but I'm always excited for a Create a Sim one, which I feel like one of the only simmers who is ever excited by Create a Sim kits, but that's just me.